Hey, what's up, everybody? We're in Van, Texas right now. I'm still waiting on my delivery time to deliver at Walmart DC in Terrell. I got a little time to kill here. I'm going to go ahead and make another video. This time it's going to be another one of these stuff I see kind of things. Not all of it, there's not going to be really any actual accident scenes. There could have been one actually that might have been an accident that I, not that I witnessed, but some sort of an incident. That's what one of them will be. There will be like one or two actual close calls as well. There are actually a few close call kind of things. My real point of these videos, though, is not to just show you like all the sensational, like viral video kind of stuff. It's more designed to show you what a trucker has to deal with on a given day, on an average day. Just something we might see that might be worth noting. Maybe it's something that could be helpful with you guys with improving your own defensive driving skills or something. So keep that in mind if you're looking for like all these crazy things, and probably not the video for you to watch. But if you just want to learn something new or just see kind of through the world of a trucker, some of the things that go on through our mind or what we see or what we experience, then that's what this is for, right? So let's start this by show you the first one here. First two here I'm going to show you both relate to trying to get another driver's attention and them thinking that you're committing road rage or something. So let's go to the first one, and I'll go into more detail on that. So first one is a boat. This was on westbound I-40, I think between Lake Havasu City and Yucca, Arizona. If I can get the video to play. Come on. Okay, so right here you're going to see this boat right in front of me. I think I zoom in on it to show you. There's like a winch or a hand crank of some sort dragging on the back of it. You can see it there now. And see, I zoom in, and it's I couldn't tell what it was, but it fell out of the boat. Okay, so okay, so what you see there, I'm going to leave this video up for you while I'm paused here. Take note of my speed. This is a 75 mile an hour speed zone right there. I got down to 54 miles an hour trying to let this guy know he's got a problem. And even more so, he dropped back to get away from me, basically, because he apparently thought I was being a road rager. I wasn't trying to road rage at all. I was trying to get his attention. Hey, you got a problem. You need to look at it. It's like, otherwise, all right, go ahead, you fucking idiot. Go ahead and have Arizona DPS come see you pass by with that going on, and they'll pull you over and ticket you for not taking care of your equipment or something. But whatever. So next one, I'm going to go over the next one as well, and then we'll talk a little bit more about CBs. Okay, did you hear that sound? Yeah, I did too, and I could tell it was somebody's tire blowing. I know it wasn't mine, but it was loud, and I knew it was one of those two guys in front of me. Who blew what? I actually said that on the CB because I heard it very clearly You can see those trucks were probably a good eighth of a mile in front of me or something along that line. And I heard it really loud from where I was at. So, didn't see any tire shards or any chunks coming out, whatever. So, not really sure what exactly happened there. But how the driver of this truck didn't know that he blew a tire with that going on. He had to have known because you saw him put his brake lights on. Maybe he thought the guy who was passing him was the one who blew a tire or something, but the other guy kept going because it wasn't his truck. Alright, here's another case too. Why is this car going over to the right to pass this truck? Truck's over there for a reason. Give him a chance to move over, or figure out why he hasn't moved over yet. Okay, right here, I'm writing down a note on my notepad here to say basically blown trailer tire. When I go around this guy, I'm gonna, because since he doesn't have a radio and he seems to think, yeah, since he seemed to think that people are road raging him, I figured I'd just hold a note up for him. Maybe he'll see it and understand it. Okay, so that's another example of how not every time someone on the road is trying to get a hold of you, it doesn't always have something to do with road rage. I don't know why people get this impression. There's two consecutive situations in a row there where that happened, where apparently the driver thought the person trying to get their attention was just trying to yell at them or cuss them out or something. I have another video here on my channel from a few months ago where I was leaving my house, or leaving Victorville, and I was following a Swift driver who had just left the Church and Dwight facility that they run dedicated out of, over by my house. He left there, and his left side trailer lights were not flashing like they were supposed to. So I ended up catching up to him. Same thing there. He didn't have a radio, so I catch up to him, get beside him, and get his attention. And what does he do? He slows down on me, so it's like 25 miles an hour in a 40 zone. And I ended up backing back off and go, hey, you got no flash, your trailer's not flashing left. I was like, you fucking moron, why are you slowing down? I'm trying to get your attention to let you know about a freaking problem because your stupid ass didn't do a proper pre-trip. But hey, if you want to make dumb assumptions and not do your job also on top of that, well, okay, that's not my problem then. I hope I'm not the guy who is trying to pass you and ends up crashing into you because your equipment's not working properly because you didn't do proper pre-trip. Okay, so this is another one of those cases where have a fucking radio in your truck, right, guys? That'll do you a lot of good. You heard both. You heard the guy there who was in front of me, and he was trying to pass the guy with the blown tire, trying to get a hold of him on the radio. And I could have been in a position to do the same thing. But it was kind of a futile effort for me if the other guy was already trying to get a hold of him. So there have been a lot of cases where that can happen. I've had times where someone tells me about a problem with my equipment because of the radio, and trust me, it does good. So what if someone wants to yell at you and cuss you out or something? Like, use your brain here, okay? Did you really do something while you were driving down the road to piss off that person for some reason? Because if you're just sitting there minding your business in the right lane doing nothing, then why on earth would you think that you'd be pissing somebody off to the point where they'd want to catch up and cuss you out? All right? Some common sense here, guys. If you can't think of an obvious reason why they would have gotten mad at you, just humor them and find out what they want. Okay? They might be trying to tell you about a problem. All right, so next one here. This is going to be a pickup that right after I picked up a load in Auburndale, Florida. Auburndale, Florida. It's called Commercial 7. I'm going to be making a left turn here. Now, you can see there's a bunch of people trying to turn into this school parking lot right across the street from where I'm coming out at. But now there's someone in the left turn lane, and when I'm sitting here at the intersection, I'm kind of having doubts of whether I have enough room to work with to make my turn safely. I was kind of wondering if I was going to have to wait for this car in the left turn lane to back up or vacate the space or something before I tried the turn, but I went ahead and did it anyway. And I'll point out some of the other little details here for those of you guys who are newer to the industry. Right here, because they're all obviously waiting to get into that school. Okay, so as you see, I'm making this turn. I'm going to put my tractor over here as much into that space right here as I can. And the reason why is because the more time I buy for my tandems to get out there toward the middle of the lane and around that car, the better my chances are going to be that I will actually get around them. So you can see me straighten out. See my steering wheel over here. You can see my steering wheel straighten out a little bit, and did what I could with that space, and then I came back over. Go really slowly. Now watch my face. Okay, I'm looking over my my passenger side mirrors right now, but I'm going to turn back to the driver's side. See, now I'm staring at that. Yeah, I don't think we get clearly, but... Okay, there's nothing for me to worry about with the tractor. Just go straight down the road. Right now, my concern is the tandems. As long as I can see my tires around the front end of that car, I'm okay. But if they disappear behind that car, I have a problem. Okay, so... And of course, got to have a little bit of fun with that too while we're at it. Really, anybody with the proper training can do that. You just, use your head, where your tandem's at, picture whether you have the space or not. I was kind of iffy on that, but we'll see what goes. Okay, here's another one that's a very common complaint about that more experienced truckers have with less experienced truckers. Okay, this is also in Florida. I forget where exactly. I know I was getting on northbound I-75. I think it was after picking up that same load that you just saw me leaving from. Now, when I get up here at the end of the on-ramp, there's a truck that's coming up in the slow lane. And he decides to move over to the middle lane to give me space to come over. But he did it right in front of another truck that was going faster than him. Okay, don't know if you noticed it. You can play this again if you want, but you might hear me that I actually feathered my throttle a little bit there because I recognize that he has the right of way, not me. So if I have to go over to that breakdown lane, I'm ready to do it. But I'm not going to go merging right in front of him, especially if I think that he can't move over, and there's no reason he should have to slow down for me like that. So I'll be prepared to use the breakdown lane and let him go by first and then get up to speed then. He ended up getting over, so I went ahead and accelerated then, but until I saw for sure he went over there, for just a second there, you might have heard me let off my throttle just a little bit. And it wasn't just to switch gears, it was to kind of give a little bit more time for him to get by me first before I get to where I was forced to get on the road. Okay, I know this guy's mad at the guy for cutting him off, but guys, this is not smart. Don't be aggressive like this, right? If you're in a truck, if you do this crap, nothing good can come from riding someone's ass like that. Trust me, you can't see very well, and if they have a sudden stop, you're not going to survive it. Or pretty likely you won't. You won't be able to avoid hitting them. And let's say if they end up, they say have a sudden stop because of something that goes on in front of them or whatever, then your only option is to crash into the front of them. And a lot of times those rear end collisions between a truck and a trailer of another truck, they don't end well for the guy who just did the rear ending. A lot of times those end in the death of the guy who did the rear ending. So don't be stupid here. Don't think that you're going to intimidate anybody by driving aggressively, riding their ass like that, okay? Because me personally, when you ride my ass like that, I'm just as likely to get on the radio and tell you, you want to ride my ass like that, I'll go ahead and back off, and I'll keep you there as long as I want to, till you get shut your fucking mouth and back off and quit being a little bitch about it because you're not getting your way or something. Okay, here's another thing here. Did you see what the guy who was mad at the other guy just did? He intentionally swerved over in front of the guy real close by because he wasn't happy. Two wrongs don't make it right, guys. And honestly, if you do that shit and it gets caught on video, if you drive for a company, say it's not your own truck, all it takes is someone to show the company this footage, and their safety department people might say, you know what? You drive like this, you don't need to be driving our truck. Bye-bye. And they'll put it in your DAC report too that you drove, you got fired for driving aggressively and basically road raging. And even if you have your own, company, there's another thing that I recommend. Don't try this shit. Because like I say, if I get, and this actually happened to me one time in Fresno. I just got through washing out my trailer at the truck wash in Fresno. I was getting on southbound Highway 99, and there was another truck right in front of me that was slower to get on. So I went ahead and and I was empty, so I went flying around him, and I got up to 60 miles an hour, about what I was going to do anyway. And the other guy ended up getting up to speed and decided he was going to camp out in a spot where it wasn't safe for me to move over. Maybe I could have fit in front of him, but I was going to be like maybe 5 feet in front of him at best. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not moving, so I'll wait. And I think it got to where I had to signal right to give him the hint that, hey, dude, I want back over. Meanwhile, there was a truck that was already in the middle lane that was catching up to me. I didn't cut him off, but he was going faster than me, and he was, I guess he wasn't happy with the fact that I blocked him like that. So once I finally got back around this other truck, he gets around me, and then he intentionally moves over just like this guy. Where actually he had to back off just a little bit to keep his corner of his trailer from hitting the front of my from my hood. Then he ends up getting off the freeway there at one of those exits. Okay, well, my dash cam footage picked up his truck number, trucking company info. And here's the problem here. I looked up the US dot number on the FMCSA website, and it came back to a small company with 2 trucks and 2 drivers. And even better, the company's address came back to some house on a cul-de-sac right there off that same exit. So, am I necessarily going to do something bad about that? No. But someone who's there, we do have some not very sane people out here driving trucks, unfortunately. And you got to assume that any person that you do piss off could be liable to do something insane, like shoot at you or something along that line. Or, in that kind of situation, that gets even worse because now I know where he lives. So if I'm really insane, I could go to his house, go rob his house, beat the shit out of his wife, rape her or whatever, or something like, or even kill his family or whatever. You never know. I would never do that. I'm not going to do something illegal and it's going to get me put in jail or whatever. But there are people out here who will do that. And keep that in mind. Yeah, don't think that you're invincible just because you're an owner-operator, right? Because, like I say, if your trucking company info comes back to your own house, well, now I know where to find you. And also, we can also report it to DOT and show them the footage, and then next time you go through a weigh station, they might end up deciding to pull you in and say something to you about it or something. So watch yourself, all right? Yeah, don't do stupid shit like this. All right, next one here. It's going to be a red light runner. Okay, this is leaving the Royal Truck Stop in, I guess I would call it Colton, California, or Loma Linda kind of area. It's just southeast of where I-10 and I-215 meet up. You can see that green light that's turning yellow now up ahead. Obviously, I'm going to end up stopping for that red light. And when my light turns green, I can see this car coming down the street. That's Hunt's Lane that you see there that I'm coming up to. The car was coming southbound from where I-10 is at. And you won't be able to see his light, but you will see that mine is green very clearly. And I start pulling out. I knew he was coming, but I was intentionally going to make it, at least make him nervous. I was like, hey, this wasn't a good idea. Okay, light is red. Mine is not green yet. I'm not looking in his direction, but I can see him with my peripheral vision. Okay, now I'm actually looking. I can actually see him coming. My light's already green. You did see there was also a pause there between when his light turned green and when his turned red and mine turned green. And he's still not even at the limit line yet. Yeah, and then you saw that he actually went partially into the northbound lane to avoid getting hit by me. Like, this is why, it doesn't matter who has the right of way. You don't enter an intersection that is not safe to enter. Nah, almost never a case where there's an intersection collision like this, where it's a red light runner or something. Almost never is there a situation like that where it's a totally unavoidable accident by the person with the right-of-way. If you're looking both directions, you see what's going on, you should be able to see that somebody's about to run the red light. Hey, it's not safe to enter the intersection. Yeah, let them do what they're going to do, even if it's illegal. Yeah, but at least you're not involved in an accident. You're not getting someone else hurt or killed. There could be third parties that could be involved, could get involved and caught up in the mess too, because you just have to take your right away because it's yours. So, all right. Of course, my proverbial fucking idiot. Okay, next one. This one happened earlier this month. Now, we've been hearing about DOT starting to crack down on ICC bar problems. I think if you're part of the Scotty D clique, Scotty D67 clique, that I always talk about him. He's a friend of mine. He's got a Facebook group, and I want to say it was in his group that somebody, I think he had posted himself actually, the thing about DOT starting to hammer down on ICC bars. So that's why I posted this one. So what an ICC bar is, if you're not really familiar with it, I will show you. Okay, I'll pause it here. This here is an ICC bar. This one's damaged here, as you can see, from what it impacted, I don't know. The way it bent in like that kind of makes me think that he made a left turn and the tail swing might have hit something, but I don't know for sure. Maybe he could have hit something else too, but normally, yeah, if he was moving forward and something got caught on the front of it, it'll usually pull it backward, and then if someone rear ends it, it usually cave in forward toward the tires. This case, it kind of looks like it went inward, so it tells me maybe he hit like a post or something, some kind of obstruction while he was making a left turn and had tail swing, and maybe just kept going, or I don't know. It might not have been him too. It could have been someone else using that same trailer. I don't know. This might be this guy's only equipment though. But that's one of those things. Now, what the ICC bar is, that was a result of a incident that actually killed somebody famous. I'm brain farting on the name. Maybe you guys can help me out there. I know the name. I'm just I don't remember the name of the person though. So someone put it in the comments section, please, and tell me who the name of the famous person was who died because their vehicle went under the back of a trailer that they rear-ended. So they end up putting these ICC bars in there at the bottom of the trailer there to try to prevent cars from going underneath the trailer. Doesn't work so well. They still go under, so it's not going to really necessarily help you out. It might do a little bit to prevent the run under accidents, is what we call them, or run under collisions, but a lot of times the impact is still strong enough that the vehicle will still go all the way under and kill the people up in the front seat. Alright, this next one here, you got this guy pulling a JB Hunt trailer who's passing me up. And you're going to see in watch my rear view mirror after he gets by me. There's going to be like an SUV or whatever. Yeah, I think it was an SUV. Watch this hood mirror. You're going to see what they're doing there. They're going to be camping out next to my trailer, even after he's already moved over to in front of me. Okay, you can kind of start seeing the SUV there. They're gaining on me, but now they're kind of camping out there right by my tandems or back in my trailer area. Not making any real effort to speed up. Now they decide to speed up. At the same time, JB Hunt starts wanting to move back over to pass the other guy. So this is something that really pisses truckers off a lot, is when drivers like that seemingly or really do intentionally speed up to try to keep them from changing lanes. Not cool. Just nothing good can come from being an asshole. Okay, just let people do their thing. Have some courtesy, and people will give you courtesy back most of the time. Sometimes there are self-centered assholes out here, but Like I say, you'll do a lot more good for yourself and for everybody else if you just drive defensively and courteously. All right, next one here. I'm driving on the Squally Road in Victorville. On my way home just recently, last week. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and accelerate a little bit because I'm down here by 3rd Street when it happened. Okay, this is 3rd. This Squally in 3rd. I'm going to move over to the left lane because now, as I'm coming up, I know that when I get to Hesperia Road, which is a couple of lights up from there, I have to be in that lane to continue straight across Hesperia Road. If I'm in any other lane, I'm forced to turn in one direction or another. Okay, you can see that car coming up back there behind me. Okay, why? I mean, what was the point of that? They didn't gain that much. They didn't gain that much distance there. And here you go. There's their license info and their what they look like too. If you guys know this person and you live in my area. All right, so now we're gonna have some more some of these tailgating and trying to pass the truck on the right situation here. These are not safe. This is actually exactly where a lot of fatal incidents happen involving cars and trucks. So remember, we have that big blind spot behind us. If you're too close behind us, we can't see you. But now this particular one here actually was this guy here. I just came out of a weigh station myself, as did the guy I think with his 4-ways on. Okay, this trucker here, he's signaling a right turn. He's coming up on this bobtail. Bobtail's going too fast for him, but why is the bobtail in the left lane still in the first place? Might think about that, guys. And if you're too close to the guy where you can't see around him, you can't see what's going on in the lane to the right. So, because you're sitting on the left side of the truck or the vehicle. This is why we don't pass on the right if you don't need to. And you can even hear me trying to get a hold of him on the radio. There's to warn him, hey, I wouldn't do that just in case he ends up finding out too late that where he can't really see the guy there until he's already about to crash into him or something. Hey, might warn him there. So be patient, guys. Let the other truck move over first. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but 9 times out of 10, if you see a truck hanging out in the left lane, they're probably there for a reason. Especially on a 2-lane road like this. Alright, this is another one that just happened last week. This is in San Jose, California, transitioning from southbound 880 onto 101 south. This is this pickup here with a trailer. Okay, as you see, they started to merge into my lane a little bit as I was coming up. That was one of those cases I did not have a choice. I had to stay in that lane because I needed this Cloverleaf right here. Okay, when you're in those situations, again, leave plenty of space because you know that other traffic at these four-way Cloverleafs like that need to try to merge out at the same time you're trying to merge in. So whether you're in the Cloverleaf on one end and you're coming out into the main, when you're exiting onto the interstate you're coming onto or highway, or coming off the highway, leave plenty of space. And then also, this kind of situation sometimes might even be helpful to back off. Like in my case too, I'm even thinking of this one, could I have done something different on this? I can't sit there and completely blame the other driver because it was just a shitty situation because of the design of the interchange there. And this is one of those where I'm going to critique my own performance through that interchange and figure out, is there something different I could have done through there to mitigate the traffic conflict, regardless of the fact that I had the right-of-way. It's the Same deadhead route, but it was actually before the one you just saw. Okay, so this guy here. Now that should normally, yeah. That's not a bad following distance, but really should be more. My general rule of thumb is if you can't fit a truck in between you and the car in front of you, you're following too closely. You can't fit a truck between that car on that, and between those two cars. So, and you see that I'm only doing 60 miles an hour. The traffic here can go faster than me. But now this guy here is merging on at too low a speed and not in any hurry to get their speed up. So this guy is kind of trapped behind that one, and that creates a problem there. So they're not making any attempt to speed up. Okay. You see the car next to me, but you can also see that there's a car in the lane next to me right there. I can't move over. There's something else here you guys might want to pay attention to as well, because I've seen it many times. Actually, my wife has talked about where she's accused FedEx drivers or else other truckers of doing this to her, like where I was speeding up when they weren't necessarily speeding up. Because I've seen it myself when I'm just sitting there at a steady speed with my cruise set, and someone coming on an off ramp, coming on from an on ramp. I mean, when they look over their shoulder to check the traffic, they also let their foot off the throttle and they slow down a little bit and don't realize they're even doing it. So that's something to watch out for if you're a driver, especially if you're a drive a car, because that's even more common in a car. But even truckers are known to do this. So just something to educate you guys on, right? Alright, same deadhead route a little bit earlier. Nothing really bad happened here, but it was kind of a close call situation up here in the right lane. You see the car coming off the on-ramp there, and all of a sudden the traffic slows down. So he comes over, and all of a sudden everyone's slowing down, and he had to end up moving back over to the right to make sure he didn't rear end the Honda there, or get rear-ended by the truck that was behind him. So again, leave space. I don't care what your speed is. Leave at least a truck length space at all times. Or leave enough space where a truck can fit between you and whoever's in front of you, and you be comfortable. Okay, this, I'm not really sure what exactly happened here, but there's a wrecker picking up a truck here. I didn't see any obvious damage on the truck. The camera couldn't pick it up so well, but I was looking and I could see that I didn't see anything real obvious going on there. I didn't see any evidence of fire on the vehicle, or that it had been in a collision of any kind. So I'm not really sure if that was just coincidentally the truck that broke down there and was needing to get towed. But you're going to see up here, there's a couple of little fires right here in the median. This is eastbound. This is actually on Interstate 10. I'm on the eastbound side. Most of that's on the westbound side. I don't remember if I was in Louisiana or Mississippi or Alabama. I was somewhere over there in the Gulf Coast area, though. But somewhere over here was where that happened. Okay, next one here is me making a difficult right turn. Those of you guys who watch Scotty, I know he's talked before about J-hook turns. I know in the past he's talked about how it's illegal to do them. It's not illegal to, but it's highly frowned upon. And then what you're going to see here is exactly why. In this case, I have a couple of options here. I can do a J-hook turn, which is what I'm going to do, and you're going to see the danger of it, but uneventfully. Along with someone talking shit to me on the radio, or at least I assume it was someone talking to me. Okay, right now I have my four-ways on because I'm going to turn right, but I need the left lane as well. I need to get my tandems far enough out so I can clear that curb that's coming up. It's a tight right turn. You'll see it. Thankfully, the car back here waited up for me. Okay, right there. This is the danger of getting your tandems too far away from the curb. You see that the white Nissan or VW, whatever that thing is, goes flying by me while I'm in the middle of making my turn. So if you're going to make a J-hook turn, be extremely cautious of this. Watch your right side mirrors before you actually commit to turning your tractor back across like that. That's exactly where a lot of right turn collisions happen involving trucks. Fucking idiots. Okay, and then you see me looking in the mirror still, and I see this guy coming up here, but I was having a hard time judging his speed. I could tell he was there, I just couldn't tell if he was going to check up for me. So I hesitated just a little bit to make sure he was going to stop first before I committed to moving. And then once I knew that he was going slow enough and that they were going to check up, that's when I continued my turn. Now the truck over here ends up leaving me extra space, thankfully, because the limit line, unfortunately, is way down here. Something else you're going to want to watch for is how much there's no shoulder space once I make the turn. And my tandem's just barely cleared that shoulder, even the way I did make that. Yeah, just barely hit that. I missed the curb. As wide as I turned that. And did you see how far out my tandems were when I started the turn? So I was almost completely in the center turn lane by the time I started turning back to the right, and I still almost hit the curb. That gives you an idea just how wide a truck and trailer can turn, and that's even with my tandems right at where they're supposed to be. Actually, I think they were actually forward of the California mark, so I could actually make a little bit tighter turn than what I normally would with right at the California limit. Fucking idiots. Okay, most of the time I make that turn like that, I usually end up running over the curb a little bit. And you want to try to avoid doing that though, because let's say there could be obstructions there, like that sign right there. If you go too far over, thankfully the sign's there's nothing right by the corner, but if someone's standing there, you got to be aware of that too. Also, how much shoulder space is there? There's not a lot of. I mean, there's shoulder space there. It's actually proper amount, I think, but you need 2 lanes to work with at the very least. And really, the only other way to make that turn without waiting for the traffic to clear would be for all of this traffic in both lanes to disappear and use both those opposing direction lanes to make your turn and do a regular button hook style turn. Alright, next one. It's some more for those of you guys who are newer to driving, because it's a very common mistake that is made by new truck drivers. Pull-through parking and trying to maneuver in between a couple other trucks, and then you end up hitting your trailer on the back of another trailer. Look like a huge amount of space here, especially given the fact my tandems are all the way back too. We'll get over here as far over as we can, but I think that I'm going to get into that spot. What I'm going to do instead, okay, I'm going to do a jackknife turn. I need to get my tandems as close to this spot as I can, so I'm going to walk it over like this. Try to get okay, it's one of the things I like about these bug eye mirrors. A lot of people make fun of the way they look, but I can see the entire front end of my tractor with these mirrors. I love them. You can see that I'm looking at them in that mirror right there. Not gonna be easy. Okay, I can actually see where that post is there in relation to my deer guard just looking in the mirror. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is trying to get my tandems as carefully as I can, as far this direction as I can, before I commit to trying to go between these 2 trucks. Now, the other thing is my tandems were all the way back. That was actually a requirement by the shipper. This is a Conagra plant in Council Bluffs, Iowa, by the way, if you guys are not we're kind of wondering where I'm at on this. I would have preferred to make this kind of maneuver with my tandems more all the way forward, so it'd be easier to get in between those 2 trucks, but Conagra's rule is slide your tandems before you come into the line. My tandems are still a mile away. I'm not really convinced I'm going to make it in here. But we'll do what we can. Okay, real quick too. Part of the mistake that newcomers to the industry make when they're making this kind of maneuver is they forget that they're in a truck pulling a long trailer. And they'll pull into this cap just like they're in a car because they totally forget they have a trailer behind them. And all they care about is maneuvering the front of the vehicle in there. Even if you're in a car, if you're maneuvering in a tight space, you should maneuver with the non-mobile axle around, which is your rear axle, not the front. Everyone thinks with the front, but you should really think with the rear. Okay. You see, I'm looking over here at the guy on my passenger side first. I still had the 2-camera system at the time, so can't really clearly, you can't see that. But I'm watching my header board. So my header board's going to stick out a little bit past the side of my my tractor. So the first thing that's going to have a problem there is going to be my header board coming in contact with the trailer on the guy on my right. Watch my header board on that side. We'll stay over here. Next, as close as we can to him. No, we're not going to make it. Okay, here's another rule of thumb for those of you guys who are new. When your tandems disappear behind an object like they are right here, if you keep going forward, you're going to hit the object. So in other words, if I keep going forward, my trailer is going to hit this guy's trailer right here. I don't want that happening. So remember that. If you can't see your tandems or they disappear behind, no, not necessarily disappear, but maybe you can see them, but they're behind the plane between the imaginary line that exists between you and whatever the object is you're trying to clear. If your tandems are behind or to the left to the right of that object, of that imaginary line, whatever, then you're going to hit them, and you either have to back up or counter steer, whichever the case might be. Now, I still have room to work with here to keep trying to maneuver it, and you'll see what I do here, trying to manipulate the trailer in a better position. But I end up getting help eventually by this guy pulling forward. Okay, while I'm coming back, I ideally want to straighten out as much as I can, but I got to be aware that you got the building there and had the other obstacles there in the area too. So I'm at the 142 mark here. I'm going to come back and show you what obstacles we're going to watch for. Got the building, we have these barriers and stuff here, and you can see that somebody's hit that one right there. So we're going to watch all those things there. And be aware of what is there and what isn't there as well. And if you're even better, if it helps any, get out and look. Okay, so you can see that post right there, but that's not the post that was bent over that was a concern. There's another post over here on this side back behind me. I think I was able to see that post below my trailer that the camera couldn't pick up, if I remember right. But having awareness of what's where and where you're at in relation to it is important. And that would be one of those cases where if I keep going back much further, I was going to need to get out and look and double check where that post was at. Okay, at this point, this guy's starting to pull forward to create space so I can maneuver into that spot. Alright, now here you go. You can see that post right there. So I wasn't going to be able to get much further back before I was going to risk hitting that post. Now, using this space here buys me a little more time to work with to get my tandems around this other truck on my driver's side. Yeah, we're good now. Okay, guys, well, that's all the footage I have. Okay, guys, that's all the footage I'm gonna have that I'm gonna cover today. It's plenty long enough to, I'm sure. I don't know when it came out to, but again, just trying to put out some content for you guys to hopefully enjoy and get some insight into stuff. Like I say, I try to focus a lot of my content on people who are new to the industry, or even if they're not new, maybe the truckers who just want to know about certain customers, or people who want to live vicariously through the world of a trucker. Whether you hear the mind of a trucker or see the kind of stuff that a trucker experiences. So all of you guys are the ones I have in mind, not to mention my kids especially. They love watching my channel a lot. You'll see my son Bradley regularly commenting on my video. Hi Bradley, hi Christian. Alright, so you guys all have a great day. I'm only 40 miles away from my drop. Be leaving in couple more hours. I can't show up until about 5:30ish, and for a 6:30 appointment. We'll talk some more about what's going on after that. All right. So and that video will hopefully be available for you guys to watch the day after this one comes out. All right. So you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.